Hello and good morning, friends. I'm live here with Donelle Dufault, and good morning, friends. I'm live here. There we go. We got our background to stop there. So let's start again. Good morning, friends. We are so excited to be here with our leader that we are interviewing today with Sip with Stacy, and that's Donelle Dufault from the great state of California. First, I want to start just to go over what inspired the idea of the leadership Lift as You Climb, Sip with Stacy leadership. And what that is to take a deep dive into leadership, but more specifically, how our council leaders are living by the mission, vision, and values. And what inspired Lift as You Climb was mentors along my way would grab my hand and pull me up, and then I would be holding someone else's hand and pulling that mentee up. And the thought behind that is that you don't want to break the chain. You want to continue to have that leadership hold so we can spread goodness and powerful leadership throughout our community. So that's how that started. So thank you so much today, Donelle, for being on the show. We can't wait to take a deep dive and spill the tea about your leadership journey and what you are doing in your community to spread goodness as well as you lift as climb. So Donelle, let's start off with just telling us a little background about how you got into the real estate market.
So I started about 10 years ago. Prior to that, I was working at a cruise agency. And I could kind of see that was like transitioning out. The internet was happening and cruise lines were starting to come out with their own codes that travel agents didn't have. And I transitioned from selling cruises to selling real estate.
So you were already a saleswoman then. That's great. I believe that the gift of gab or sales, however you craft it in your little box, is so important because it can be utilized over so many different platforms in our life, right?
Right.
That's right. Well, let's just dive into Women's Council now. So you started about 10 years ago. Tell us about what local network did you start with, and what were your first positions?
So I decided I had a great business. I lived in Indio, California, and I lived in a gated community on a golf course. Sold, there was 18 different HOAs, 2 master associations, and knew that market really well, and decided that it was time to move. So I moved to Paso Robles, which is a small town, and no houses alike. There's septic wells, a whole bunch of stuff that I never experienced living in the desert. And I needed to get, and not only that, being such a small town, there was like generations of realtors. So it was like kind of hard it was a different environment being in a small town. So I reached out, I got involved in the chamber to kind of get involved in the local communities. And then I moved in 2015, the fall of 2015, and I got involved with Women's Council in 2018. And that's about the same time I got involved in the local chamber.
Oh,
and so 2019, I was president of the Templeton Chamber, which is the town that I actually do live in, along with local network president.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So what was your first position within the Women's Council?
A local president.
Local president. Okay. So yes. you didn't even do a committee first. You just went right to local president.
So I went to my first meeting in, it was in the fall of 2018, and they were having their elections and they did not have a president-elect. So I raised my hand and said, I'd like to be involved in putting my name for president-elect. Well, it turned out that year that the president-elect that was moving up decided not to move up. And so I stepped into president in 2019.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So that's stepping into your leadership, Donelle. I love it. I love it. That's great. So now, if you could tell us, what is your best piece of advice for incoming leadership?
I think for the process, learn your bylaws, learn your standing rules, because all the answers are there. All the answers are in the model, they're in your bylaws and standing rules. And for me, it's kind of a roadmap of what the year is. So there shouldn't be anything unexpected if you are in line with that. But enjoy the journey, be present in it, and communicate. You can't do it all by yourself. Set up your committees, set up, structures and systems to help everybody in their journey.
I love that. I love that, because really clarity moves the train. I always say, not Vagueville. And if you know your bylaws, you know your standing rules, that is going to be laying the foundation for your roadmap of where you're going. And it really, like you said, it really answers all your questions. You know, what does this trip pay for if I go to Washington, D.C. at midyear? Well, let's look let's look at our standing rules and see what it dictates. And so that is so important, because it's really an easier process when we do know those rules and bylaws. So thank you for that. That's a great piece of advice for incoming leadership. Now, this is one of my favorite questions. I was asked this question when I was interviewed one time, and now I use it all the time. Were you born a leader, Donelle?
I don't know if I was born a leader. I think I like to take charge, and I can kind of see like a vision through things. So but sometimes I like to take charge. Most of the time I like to take charge in the back of the room, because I can kind of take charge and see what needs to happen and support others from the back of the room. So through the leadership process, the most growth for me is stepping up to the front of the room and not being like in the back in the shadows, because I like to support others to kind of like give them the tools, and I can see what tools may help enhance the process or their experience. So I don't think I was born a leader, but I think that I'm getting more comfortable in the front of the room.
That's awesome. That's awesome, because so many of our born, well, not born, but leadership skills are learned. And we keep learning and building on that foundation. And so you don't have to be born to take charge. It is a learned process as well. And what better place than the Women's Council? You landed in the right place, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now we want to talk about our masterminds. We have several masterminds through the Women's Council, which is just a great source of connection for our members, because it's all virtual and you can hop on wherever you are in the globe and be a part of it. Are you part of any of our masterminds, Donelle?
I am a part of, I'm not broker engagement. There's another one. I can't think of what it is, but there is one that I am a part of. What are the masterminds?
Yeah, so it's commercial, broker owner, global. Are you part of the global?
There's one more.
And then there's one more. I think it's how to open a brokerage that's coming right now, right? Or building the brokerage.
There's one other one about like bouncing ideals off of each other, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're part of that?
Yes.
And can you tell us any of the benefits that you're experiencing personally as you lift and climb others?
I think it's the connection, the personal connection with others. And the one thing about this journey is that you're not the only one going through an experience. So when you're talking to others, they've probably already experienced it, and learning from their lessons or their support and guidance to guide you through is the most valuable part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you maybe tell us about a person that has helped and guided you that you really appreciate in your leadership journey?
There's been many.
Many, yeah.
Yes, there's definitely been many. And I think it's, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't without people that I've followed and have reached out and helped me. because everybody's on a different path and everybody has different strengths. And I think it's really leaning into seeing like who you are with and who you're working with and who's on committees with you, what their strength is, and plugging into that. But the biggest thing I can say that the benefits that I found from Women's Council is the connection. If I just need a friend, there's people will talk to me at all hours of the day or night. I once was traveling through Dallas Fort Worth and got stuck overnight. And the next morning I had a friend meet me for breakfast. And go shopping a little bit to, make it not so miserable being stuck in the airport. And I think I could fly pretty much through every city and be stuck somewhere and have someone come and meet me. So that's the most valuable part of experience that I've felt, is that connection with others. And how many organizations give you that connection?
Right. I totally agree with you. It's the connection throughout the United States or even globally now that we are able to develop and just have in our back pocket. And that means so much. It's just like a family. It really is. And
Right.
You can reach out to them just for personal needs or even referrals. One of our newest surveys told us the number one reason why members are joining the council is because of our referrals. So let's talk about referrals for a minute. How are referrals working in your business, Donelle?
Referrals are, like everybody calls it, the mailbox money, right? And it's, I've called you not only like for my own personal referrals, but I've even called you personally for agents, realtors in our office that need connection. So that's an invaluable part of the council, is that connection, not only just for your own self and growth, but for others that you surround yourself with.
That's right. That's right. And it's kind of funny now because even with my own brokerage, members will call me and they'll ask me, Stacey, that you gave me a great referral last time for El Paso, Texas. Now I need someone for Dallas. Who do you have there? And so I'm kind of known as the connector for referrals, even in my office. Right. Even though I'm not getting it, I know that, you know what, it's good karma just to put out in the universe, right?
Yes, because it all comes back around.
Yes, definitely. Well, now I want to talk about community involvement and what you do in your community, so we can get a little idea of what Donelle does on her spare time.
So I'm involved with the chamber, and that keeps me busy at different festivals and raising money for the community. But I have lately, I'm busy with other, not only locally. So locally, I'm involved. I'm president-elect of our local association. I'm being installed Thursday for president for 2023. On the regional level, I'm assistant regional chair for 2023. A state director for our state association, and also sit on an NAR committee. So I'm pretty busy. I've kind of stepped away a little bit from more local, like the chamber responsibilities, and gotten more involved in realtor responsibilities. But as our association, we raise a lot of money for local events too. Mm-hmm. And we have one event coming up at Christmas time. We have, it feeds the homeless. So there's an organization that helps feed the homeless locally. And what we do is we sell raffle tickets, and every agent brings in a gift to raffle off. So we make it like a 5-week party, and we normally raise about $6,000 to $8,000 for the local community to help homeless in our area.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I love to hear about what realtors are doing in the community, and that touches my heart. That's beautiful that you do that. So what was the name of that? So is that through the chamber you do that charity work then for the homeless?
No, that's through North San Luis Obispo Association of Realtors.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So,
Now,
and it's nice because the people buying the raffle tickets get to go home with something. The agent's bringing in gifts. So it's kind of like a give all the way around. You know, if you're looking for Christmas shopping, sometimes like I take some of the gifts that I won from the raffle and even give them back to raffle them off again, or check off some Christmas lists for me. And then the money raised is for the community. So it's a nice circle, and it's a great way for us to come together as realtors and like interact and mingle and have some holiday spirit before our caravan.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now let's talk about our Women's Council Leadership Institute. And every year we've been doing this, I believe, for almost 5 years now. And I believe you are a graduate. I want you to think back at the very beginning when you first got accepted and how your start of leadership was. And then we'll finish off at the end talking about how it helped you in your leadership.
I still have the message that Pamela Banks sent to give her a call back. I was super excited and honored to be chosen because there's only 18 people a year that go forward for that. So I was super honored to be a part of the Leadership Institute. What the process was not anything I expected it to be. Think about 18 people that are in the room that all have strong visions, strong opinions, a way to do things, and the tools to like narrate through our projects. So we had projects to do and we had readings to do, and we got together once a month. And at the end of that, coming out close friends to everybody. So that like you're kind of like in the muds and in the weeds, getting to know each other's footing, personality, how to do it, how to work together, how to come up with a product, because everybody has like the way that it should be or the vision that they think it should be, and then the end product is amazing.
Yeah. I bet you, like you said, you probably learned things in leadership that you didn't realize you would, but then also it probably challenged you and pushed you to reach higher for some goals as well.
Right. And at the very end of it, the friendships that were created through that experience are priceless. At the graduation ceremony, Pamela Banks gave us all a book, and it was a little engine that could. And that book means the world to me.
Oh, that's so special. So what would you say is your biggest challenge at the leadership? What was the most difficult at the Leadership Institute?
I think working together with everybody to figure out what direction we're going to take and what role everybody was going to take was the biggest challenge. And we did work through it, and it was a great presentation.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And would you highly recommend the Leadership Institute for members that are listening?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be discouraged, like put in your name. And if you're not, my advice would be is if you're not chosen the first year, don't quit. Keep on putting your name, because at the right time, the right doors will open.
Right. Okay. So members that are out there, raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen, and keep raising them, right?
Right.
Be confident.
Because somebody is seeing, be confident. And if you get the opportunity, just say yes.
I love it. From the words of Donelle Dufault, just say yes.
Just say yes. You'll figure out the rest through the process.
That's right. I love it. Well, let's now talk about, Donelle, some committees that you serve at NAR. I know when we were just at mid-year, I saw you going back and forth on those Ubers to NAR. So I know you serve over there. We spent a lot of time going back and forth. So tell me what committees you're on and what your passion is over there.
So for 2022, I sit on second homes and resorts, and then also the forum for president-elects of local associations. And next year I will be on land use committee. So
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to that. I've sat on land use for the last 2 years at our state association. This year I was honored to be an issues chair for land use and environmental issues. So, and that's one thing I can say is when I first started getting involved, when I was first on the land use committee, I wasn't really sure that was my passion. But the further I've gotten into it, it means everything, like understanding property rights and homeowner rights and what's going on and water rights. This is it's just the universe acts in a way that you land where you're supposed to be. And land use is my passion at this time.
and that's so important and powerful. Those words that you just said, Donelle. You weren't really sure that land use was where you needed to be, but you stuck with it. You had an open mind, an open heart, and then when you learned more about it, it was your passion. So I love
Oh
that.
yeah, it's total my love language. It's everything I love. I've been involved in environmental sustainability committees, and the information and the conversations and coming together is my passion.
See, that's so great, because I believe that when we fill out our applications for NAR, we're supposed to fill out 5. And so sometimes I think after 3, people are like, oh, what should we, because they have their top 3 that they always want to be on, right? And they're always
Right.
struggling, but just put something down there, because to your point, Donelle, even if you think it's maybe not your passion or you're not interested, once you get involved and you get a taste and a flavor for it, you may have a huge passion for it. So just do it. Just raise your hand, right?
Yep. You're not going to know unless you step into it.
That's right. Okay, step into it. We're going to take those words from Donelle too. Can you tell us, just because we are talking about land use, tell us what are some of the initiatives that you do talk about and you learn about, just for our members that are out there that may not even know what that committee is?
So it's right now, like the hot topic in California is water rights, right? Where are we getting our water? Electricity, or we're going to have a mandate to be all electrified. Are we going to still have the choices to have gas appliances? So those are some of the hot topics right now. But water is most important. Where is the water coming from?
Right. Yeah, we're having, sorry about that. We're having lots of water summits in Arizona as we speak, and over probably the last several months. And I'm sure that will continue into the future too, because we're your neighbor to the east. So we have the same issues as you do. So I know how very important water is. Definitely.
Yeah. And then sea level rise. So we have a lot of issues going on right now that's affecting property ownership and property rights and land use.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I also wanted to talk about this. You got such the baby face. Like when I think about your age, I'm like, what is Donelle, like 20? And so how old were you when you became a realtor?
I was 36.
36. Oh my goodness. Well, you look just like you're 20, like a baby. I don't know what your secret is. I saw Charisse Stahl just jumped on too. So I'm checking our chat line if any members have any questions for you. So I might ask you a question from our chat as well. And I see Rochelle is there too. So you've got.
Hi, Rochelle. And Rochelle was also in the Leadership Institute with me.
Oh, she was?
She was part of our class. Yes, she was.
Oh, how nice. How nice. That's wonderful. So you already have that connection with her. Who else was in your leadership?
We had, let's see, Kama Burton was in our leadership class.
Okay.
We had Rochelle, Wendy, Bailey, I'm horrible with names, out of Idaho. I love her to death.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah, yes, 7 Lux, live and good.
Yeah. Yes, I remember all of you giving presentations. You all
Yes.
did so good. I was so impressed. So that was the class of 2021.
Renaud Roquet was, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
we had a
wonderful.
great class.
I do have a question or maybe a comment here. Let me just see this. Renee Epple, she is our incoming Scottsdale Network president for 2023. And she is saying, in addition to water and land use, is there a strong voice from the citizens in support of or against eliminating natural gas appliances and such from your committee? Is there any feedback
Well,
on that?
in our area, people want choices, right? You want to be able to have a choice of how you're cooking your food. And most people, if you took a survey, I would say these are rough numbers. I'm not speaking off of a report, but
Right.
from the feedback I've had, I would say 80% of the people prefer to cook on gas. So we should, as homeowners, have a right of what we choose to cook on and use to heat our homes. And yeah, we should have a choice. So some people are all for it, but it should be a mandate that you can no longer have gas appliances. And then how does that look if your gas appliance breaks? Are you forced then to go to electric? So it's a big issue it's a big issue.
Sure, sure. And also, when I was just most recently visiting California for your California state meetings, my Uber driver, I was just talking to him and I said, how, is your Tesla working with your electric car and whatnot? Because he had mentioned that there is a mandate by, I think, 2035 for just all electric vehicles, like a phase in or phase out, however you
Right.
want to look at it. And he said there's going to be some issues that we're going to have to deal with because the people that don't have a home and a garage, they don't have the option to have like a charging station. So therefore, they have to look at the charging stations remotely, and then they've got to schedule those. And those could sometimes be a few hours of waiting there, depending on the length of the line. And I did not know this, but he showed me on his computer screen in his car that they charge different rates depending on the day of the time of the day, or maybe the location and the wait time. So that can vary
Right.
too. So they have to be really cognizant and look at those rates and how people are able to actually get charged. Because if you live in an apartment or a loft or you don't have a garage, that could be an added thing to your day. That could maybe be 10 hours a week that you're spending charging your vehicle.
Well, and another issue that is true, that's a big issue. And another part of that is California's power grid can't provide the power at times that we currently need. So we have rolling blackouts now, and there's not enough electricity for our current needs. And now to put all vehicles onto that grid, there needs to be some upgrades. Something needs to be done differently to make sure that everybody can sustain electricity to power their vehicles.
Sure, sure. So the cities will really have to upgrade those grids before they can mandate, because we wouldn't want to get in a situation where we didn't have transportation. So we
Right.
have to take that into consideration too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, these are great committees to be on because these are great conversations and, navigating through it and figuring it out. So we all have transportation to get our clients to and from those homes and do all of our showings, right?
Right.
So that's all important. And it is interesting because it's maybe a good mix of both, because you don't want to really be with one without the other too. So I love the conversations. I love the deep thought, and I love all of us working together. So land use seems like a great committee to be on at NAR. We need more people to raise their hand in that committee, right, Donelle?
For sure.
Well, now I wanted to just take a little break and switch lanes and talk about your leadership climb, Donelle, and what's next for you.
I don't know. I'm pretty busy right now. So we will see what doors open.
Okay.
So for 2023, I will be, I am first vice president of Women's Council California. So I'm excited for that.
Yes. And then you'll be president what year? 25?
President, well, if I'm elected president-elect
Yeah.
at our meetings in May, president 2025.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's your leadership line right now.
Yes, I'm enjoying the journey one day at a time.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I recently just got to see you in action as the treasurer, and I got to hear your report, which was wonderful. You gave a great report of California state, and just thank you for your service and all that you do, and your smile. I've never seen you not have a smile on your face. You're always happy, and I get such good leadership vibes from you.
Well, thank you for coming out and supporting us and being part of the state meeting.
Yeah. Oh, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and I really appreciate that. Oh, wait, Cherie Stahl is saying something. I see you are a former chairman of the board of directors at Templeton Chamber of Commerce. How did you become involved there, and how has it helped you going forward?
I became involved in the chamber to start getting involved in the community. When I moved to Templeton, didn't really know anybody. And it's really helped me with like fundraising, to see how a board should be ran, pulling people together as a community to, really raise funds for the needs of the community. The professionalism and again, it's connection. It's about being a part of something.
Right. And that's a great place to start when you do move to your point, Donelle, to a community, because then you learn all about the community and what a better place to do that. So that's great. And then you learn the needs and the wants of the community, and you really see how you can dive in and make a difference.
Right. And people want to do business with people they know.
Absolutely.
There's that trust factor. That's the knowing the person, and you can get a great feel for somebody meeting them versus a phone conversation. So that's one way to help build your business, is like to get out and talk and connect with people and let them know truly who you are.
Absolutely. And we are just ending. We're getting here really close to the very end. And thank you, Cherie, for that question. She did ask one more question here. I was just going to wind us down here, but she said, where do you start to get involved? Like how would one start to get involved?
Go to the chamber.
Okay.
To get involved with the chamber, or to get involved in
with the chamber. So I think probably just you probably just joined a meeting, right? You went to your first meeting there.
Yeah. I went down to the chamber office and became a member and asked them how I could help. And they were looking for a board position. So, but there's other ways to get involved. I mean, even if you don't want to be on the board or a committee, they need people to meet and greet. So go talk to the association CEO who's running that association at the chamber, and ask not want to commit to a whole year or to being on a committee, but there may be things you can do in that event to help set up, to help take down, help people get to where they need to be. So there's a lot of different positions, and it's just, they're always looking for volunteers to help and to serve.
Well, that's great advice. Thank you for that advice. And that's true. You just ask, where can you help? I think that's probably the easiest one. I love that one. What can I do to help? And probably find a great spot for you. And you'll probably learn a lot more about your community than you realized.
Right.
And so just ending, we all live in this competitive world, Donelle, and everyone's trying to, go this direction or that direction. And sometimes people are forgetting the basic ethics of teamwork and values and morals. How do you, in your day-to-day, make sure that that's what you are expressing to leaders that you deal with in the day-to-day? What's your secret sauce?
I believe in honesty. Like if I'm doing something, there's a reason I'm doing it and I can justify when I'm doing it, right, wrong, or indifferent. So, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. Time is very important to me. My time, we all have the same amount of hours, and especially being on stuff, volunteering, time is important. So I show up on time, and I try to make sure that I respect other people's time, stay present in the moment, enjoying those conversations, and being true to yourself. Everybody wants to get to know you. There's only one you. So my advice is stay true to yourself, be who you are, show up authentically, and be on time.
Wow. I just feel the warmth and honesty when you say that. And I know that you are that person. So thank you for being that person. Thank you for being involved in Women's Council. And thanks for taking this half an hour on Sip with Stacey just to share your leadership climb and who you are. We really appreciate it. So thank you, Donelle. Is there anything you want to end in closing? Any statements you'd like to say to our audience out there?
Keep on whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. Show up with a smile. And if something feels uncomfortable, it's okay. You will figure out a way to manage through it. And if you need support, realize that there's hands all around you to support you. So never feel alone. And if you need a friend or have any questions, always feel free to call me. I'm available. And thank you, Stacey, for taking the time out of your day and schedule to put this together.
Oh, I'm just delighted to be able to shine a light on you today, Donelle. So thanks for being with us on Sip with Stacey, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.